Donald Trump became the first president in 30 years not to secure a second term, and the outgoing president had vehemently challenged the results, casting doubt over the smoothness of the transition, the continuation of much-needed government support, and the foundation of the nation's systems. Against this backdrop of uncertainty and division, it became imperative to reflect on the real impact of past presidents on the American economy. While presidents often inherit economic conditions shaped by their predecessors, their decisions and policies leave an indelible mark on the nation's financial landscape. How can a president influence an economy? Ensuring checks and balances are in place to regulate individuals' influence on pertinent matters in the United States is crucial. The modern economy, characterized by significant reliance on social media platforms, differs greatly from the past. There are potential dangers of destabilizing the economy, resulting in disastrous outcomes such as unemployment and loss of health care, housing, and livelihoods. However, a president waging war on the economy can be just as dangerous as waging war on a nation. So how much of an impact does a president have on the economy? Do they deserve recognition for the successful outcome? And if a president truly wanted to destroy the economy, what might they do? We are not concerned about Trump's plans to assert squatters' rights in the West Wing of the White House in 2021 other than the potential effects on the economy, the trillions of dollars and the significant tax cuts implemented in 2017. The 2020 corporate stimulus package would primarily boost stock prices, but short-term profits are simple to enable, and the stock market is not the economy. You can't even cut taxes and increase government spending nationally. Naturally, this means that the government must take on an increasing amount of debt, which may be the first big tool in a president's arsenal for devastating their country's economy. There is a limit, known as the debt ceiling, which is in place to prevent the government from having total freedom to spend. Congress established the ceiling, which the national debt cannot exceed until increased. Since there hasn't been a budget surplus for the U.S. government since 2001, it is normal for this number to rise regularly as the government accumulates more debt. After all, tales of people piling on debt usually result in depressing yard sales and forced camping vacations. Government debt operates differently than personal debt, particularly in the U.S. It is an ongoing accounting of the government's tax and spending differences. Regularly raising the debt ceiling is less concerning as economies grow over time. Graduate students may initially only be eligible for a $500 credit limit, but as their careers advance, they can upgrade to an unlimited spending ceiling. Since 2001, the size of the American economy has doubled. More people are earning more money and contributing more to the government's coffers, allowing it to service a steadily growing debt load. This may contribute to the fact that the debt ceiling was suspended in August 2019, allowing American company executives to use credit cards with no limits. However, there was a catch. The deadline for this spending holiday was July 2021. The economy may be negatively impacted if this debt ceiling isn't increased or suspended once more. The government's debt, akin to credit card debt, is at an all-time high due to record fiscal stimulus expenditure, and there will be dire repercussions if this limit cannot be extended. A potential government shutdown could have severe economic consequences, especially when combined with halting continued stimulus in 2021. The fallout from the previous shutdown in 2018 was significant, and a similar situation could be much worse this time. If public employees lose their jobs at the same time government support stops, it could be a rough ride, but not nearly as rough as what could occur in a possible doomsday scenario. If the debt ceiling is not changed swiftly enough, the government might not have access to enough funding to pay back the money it already owes. The U.S. Treasury must roll over its debt every few days by issuing new bonds to pay off the old ones that are about to expire. This process is similar to refinancing a much larger loan. Since new debt replaces existing debt, the debt cap shouldn't impact this process too much. In 1979, a human error caused the Treasury to miss a $122 million payment to bondholders. It was corrected within 24 hours. However, a 1989 research paper revealed that this slip-up raised borrowing costs by 0.6%, which could cost the government an extra $132 billion annually in interest if applied to the current outstanding debt. The U.S. government's debt rating has already been lowered from AAA to AA+. This is similar to how a credit card user may lose points for taking on excessive debt or failing to make payments. Since this drop was declared in August 2011, the government has failed to restore its flawless credit rating, and there are even rumors that U.S. bonds may be reduced again due to uncertainties worldwide. What could a president do to tank the economy if they wanted to? So what role does the president play in this scenario? Specifically, what could a president intent on damaging their economy do? The president can veto credit extensions that Congress passes. If this happens, Congress needs a 2/3 majority in the House and Senate to pass it again. However, historically, presidential vetoes are rarely overturned. The fallout from a U.S. debt default would be so catastrophic for the global economy that it's hard to speculate on the consequences. It would make borrowing far more expensive for the government and potentially mean the U.S. dollar's de facto use as the world's reserve currency would be in jeopardy. Fortune 500 companies, sovereign wealth funds, and even entire nations all have cash, but unlike ordinary individuals, they don't keep it in regular bank accounts. Instead, they hold it as cash and cash equivalents. Apple is the world's most cash-rich firm, with almost $200 billion reported on its global balance sheet as cash. The majority of this cash is held in U.S. and Irish government treasuries. The theory is that treasuries are just as good as cash since they are so quickly sold for cash and have such a constant price. Thus, currency substitutes. Large sums of money are actually safer than actual cash. The federal government guarantees a bank account's balance of up to $250,000. However, as the government backs treasury notes, they are indefinitely guaranteed. This is all wonderful, but if there is any indication that these bonds will not be paid, these large financial institutions will seek more stable alternatives. You may be wondering if this discussion about reserve currencies, debt ceilings, and corporate cash equivalents is a diversion from the election turmoil. Therefore, can the U.S. president bring down the U.S. economy with him? Not really, though. Major policy decisions, including the process of lifting the debt ceiling, will be made by the incoming administration. The president will not have the authority to create drama there, even though the Senate might be able to. Congress will not support a frivolous war, and threats directed at trade partners or specific corporations are no longer considered credible. Here are some simple instructions on how to ruin your economy. You just need to eliminate the following 3 important areas: the skilled population, the industry, and the currency. An economy can recover even if it simultaneously loses 1 or 2 of those 3 factors. A talented populace can prosper and produce a respected currency if given access to sophisticated industrial capital. An informed population with a strong currency can purchase industrial capacity. Even a country with a strong industry and currency, but a mediocre workforce, can hire foreign experts or develop domestic talent. Utilizing that position might readily fill in the gaps, even if a country just possessed one of these. To begin with, let's talk about money. We have already seen how to accumulate enormous debt that you later fail to repay, or how to print money out of existence and create hyperinflation. Hopefully, you will then have to take on a foreign currency as your own and answer to that nation for any choices about monetary policy. Eradicating the industry is more challenging unless you can convince the military to declare war on your own country. Removing the nation's productive capacity all at once won't be easy. Instead, you could drastically underfund infrastructure development. This would continue until shipping ports, highways, canals, and bridges are no longer able to improve worker productivity. To restrict the supply of skilled labor, you could raise the cost of tertiary education and reduce funding for it. It's also probably a good idea to limit skilled labor migration to ensure that none of those intellectual gaps are filled. If you can successfully complete all 3 at once, you will also completely destroy public trust in the country's stability and guarantee the collapse of your economy. Make sure to let us know your thoughts, and don't forget to like today's video. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.